Is it also a fair statement to assume that the vehicle veered quickly away from that because it didn't want to strike the people on that corner?
And so if you haven't caught on, Darrell is showing us how he saved lives that day. Hey y'all, it's your girl J9E, and tonight what we have is a bystander witness being cross-examined by, of course, the one, the only, our precious Darrell. He's gonna have questions for this man of the likes that are probably sound just like the other questions he had for everybody else that didn't make any sense. But you know, it's always hilarious to watch Darrell struggle to climb up out of this hole that he digs and digs and digs every day. So let's see what Darrell's got to say today. Okay, I'm sure it's going to be like, you know, very smart and intelligent and well put together and planned and not off the fly like he, you know, usually likes to do. But let's see. We have to see. We gotta. Okay. We can't assume that it's going to be stupid just because it's Darrell. Okay. Well, we can, and we'd probably be right. But, you know, I mean, that's not how this works. We like to listen to it and poke fun at it because Darrell. Okay. So Darrell, what you got for us today? Let's see what you got to say for yourself.
All right, any questions for this witness?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just 1 second.
Oh, 1 second. Oh, we gotta wait for you. Okay. You know, because the world does revolve around Darrell. You know this. Let's hear it, Darrell. Come out with this smoking gun. Come on.
You remember what time it was when you observed the vehicle?
Because that matters.
I don't recall the specific time I saw a red SUV. No.
It's okay. It doesn't matter anyway. It's okay.
You stated earlier that you saw the vehicle clip the corner. Would that be fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
I saw it clip the corner of where the children were standing, correct.
And what do you mean by clip?
Come into contact with children that were in the front of that group of kids.
Jesus.
Is that how you would define clip?
That's my definition of clip.
Him and his little hot dog look. It's a hot dog packet. I think I called it a donut packet in the last video. I meant a hot dog packet, you know, with the rolls. There always makes this face.
Correct.
You stated also that it veered quickly away from, I'm guessing, that corner. What do you mean by veered quickly away?
The vehicle at one point was coming straight at us, and then the next moment it was heading 45 degrees back on the original route, so it quickly turned to get back onto the street. Otherwise it would have come onto the corner, onto that intersection at Clinton Street.
So it's fair to say if the vehicle did not quickly veer, as you say, it would have ran right into the people on the corner.
That's a fair statement, yes.
And so if you haven't caught on, Darrell is showing us how he saved lives that day. That's the point he's making, just in case you didn't notice, is that he was saving lives. Look how he veered to miss these ones so that he could hit those ones. No, those aren't the ones. These are the ones. Oh, Darrell. Always worried about those others. Where they are. Where are the others? Can I run over the others? Yes. And then here come Darrell.
Is it also a fair statement to assume that the vehicle veered quickly away from that because it didn't want to strike the people on that corner?
And there you go. As you can see, Daryl was saving lives that day. You know, he was picking which lives to spare, which ones to save, which ones to take. Just, he was out there choosing. Is these what the choosing signals I'll be hearing about? Is this what this is? Daryl was out there making choices. If anything, I mean, if he didn't realize this sounds more premeditated. I don't think he caught that. But this makes him sound even more like it was premeditated, not less. Like this now it sounds more planned. It sounds more planned by that, okay? At no point did you. I mean, you could have put on the brakes, Daryl. I mean, you live in this car. You think you know at least something about it, like where the brakes are. Just anything would be nice.
Objection.
Grounds.
Speculation.
Grounds.
Sustained. Calls for speculation on the part of this witness.
Grounds.
In your opinion, why would the vehicle have quickly veered?
Objection. Again.
Grounds.
Speculation.
Grounds.
Jesus, they didn't even get to say it yet. He threw out the grounds before they were even able to finish their sentence. Grounds. Like as soon as he heard them speak, grounds. I wonder if Daryl knows what grounds, what he's even saying that for. Oh my God, he's so weird. He can't because he's not even waiting for them to say the thing before he says grounds. So he clearly doesn't know what he's saying when he says grounds. He doesn't know. He don't know what he's asking for when he calls out grounds. You don't know. For sure. For sure. Mm-hmm.
If you were driving the vehicle and were able at any time to see people directly in your path, would you veer away?
Objection. Relevance for this
Grounds.
trial.
Sustained.
And I had a grounds for the sustain?
It's not relevant for this witness to answer that question. Calls.
Yeah, indeed, it ain't relevant. It's extremely not relevant. It's the most not relevant that I've ever heard a relevant be. Super not relevant, Daryl. If this guy was driving towards some people, would you veer to not hit them? No, you know what he would do? He would do that thing that you should have did, which is called hit the brakes. This is what you should have done. You didn't do no good thing. You were supposed to hit the brakes, Daryl. The brakes. These are the brakes. Somebody need to teach Daryl about old school hip hop, because then he would know that these are the brakes. Oh, I don't know who's old enough to know what that is.
Calls for a hypothetical that he has not been qualified to answer. So it's also on foundation grounds.
Daryl's so funny. He goes, like, this don't make no sense. Why can't I ask him about his garden that he had when he was 6 years old? It's my trial. If I want to ask him about things that don't have anything to do with anything, I don't see why it's a problem. I'm the one that's going away for 1,000 years. Oh, Daryl. Oh, Daryl.
Did you get a look at the driver of the vehicle?
I recall looking into the window, but my memory doesn't put a face to that or an image to that, so no.
Did you get the license plate number of the vehicle?
No.
Oh my gosh.
You see,
Why does he think random people would be looking at the license plate? You know, it's a rare few. There'll be some. Because there's always those people who's like, literally, as soon as something happened, they'd be like, get the plate. But normal people, just panic and try to get out of the way and run and save themselves. This is a normal reaction. Okay.
any tents on the vehicle that you recall?
Oh my God.
No, I was not paying attention to the vehicle after it came down barreling.
He's so worried about his tents.
My
What you want to?
tunnel vision to the.
I think Daryl wants to find out, like, were my tents legal? I was always curious about that. Like, if I had gotten pulled over, I mean, I know they would have arrested me because I didn't have no license, but but had they pulled me over for my tents, do you think that I would have passed or no? Like, no one cares, Daryl. No one cares.
kids.
So it'd be fair to say that with you focusing on the kids, it would be difficult to describe the vehicle at that point.
No.
Outside of it, obviously being a red SUV.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this, Daryl. I'm gonna tell you this. I know it wasn't your car. I know this. I know. It was your mama's car. We get it. We get it. But you were driving around in it on a regular basis, even living in it. This was his home, you see. He lived in it. He couldn't go in his mama's house. He was living with his mama until he shot at his nephew, and then he couldn't live at his mama's house. So he lived in her driveway instead, in her car. Okay? But he's the only person who drove the car. Right? We're going to get into this a little later. I'm going to go over that 911 call with his mom Dukes calling 911 talking about the car was stolen. She didn't know he had it. She thinks that's the car inside of the parade, which is clearly a lie because he was living in that car. Okay. So there's that. But that's off topic. Let's get back in.
In my mind as I saw it come down. I couldn't recall any other details about the vehicle.
So it'd be fair to say the only thing you can recall about the vehicle was the color of it.
That it was a
red SUV. It's hard to not stand out in a red SUV. That was the point that I was making. I forgot. That is a terrible car to be driving around in. And like I said, I know that it's not your car, so you didn't get to choose it. But you're driving around in a red SUV. Not burgundy, but red. Not maroon, but red. It's going to be hard to not notice this vehicle. Hold it in your forever memories when you see a bright candy apple red SUV drive through a parade of people. That's going to stick in there forever. I don't care if they didn't see who was driving or they didn't notice how many tires was on that motherfucker. It could have been one tire. They may not have noticed. But I tell you what they noticed. It was a red SUV. Stand out like a sore thumb.
red SUV, a larger vehicle.
So the color of it.
Correct.
You stated that you initially waited before you seek medical attention. Any reason why you would wait?
I walked through the variables earlier. The hospital was on lockdown. I'm familiar with hospital operations enough to know that the acuity for my daughter didn't warrant me taking resources from other victims. My wife's a provider, an urgent care nurse practitioner. I felt she would be in a better position 15, 20 minutes later to assess and handle that from there.
You stated you did the father thing, as you put it, and downplayed the significance of the injury. Any reason why you would downplay it?
I think my initial reaction was a little confusion of what was going on and not seeing any bones sticking out or any blood.
I'm gonna tell you, let me say, he's reluctant to tell this piece of shit anything, but I could tell you why. Because his child is surrounded by children whose bones are out, whose lungs are punctured, ribs cages are pushed in. They're just laid sprawled out everywhere. If his daughter has a bruise or her ankle hurts or she's having trouble walking, in contrast to what he is seeing everywhere around him, this is going to feel like a minor thing in contrast to all these other people. So it was the non-selfishness in this man that made him like just go, well, this isn't as important as those people's injuries. This is what this was. This is what happens when somebody comes along and creates this much chaos. You having a sprained ankle or a bruise the size of a freaking grapefruit on your body from this, okay, is going to feel like nothing when in contrast to all the other chaos and horror that you created. You created all of it. Her, we'll say, minor injuries, his daughters, and those major ones of everyone else, and then the deaths of the others. Right? This is what he done. Like, he done all of this, and now he gets to sit up here and question this man about why he didn't think that it was so urgent to take his daughter to the emergency room, and so that she could just be in there amongst all these people dying and broken in half from the impact of your vehicle. Darrell, if you ever wonder why you got 1,000 years, I hope this clarifies it for you. I hope that it does. You're a demon. A demon. This is a demon. This is demonic. This is what this is. Darrell is the devil. Darrell is the devil. The devil wouldn't appreciate me saying that. I'm sorry, devil. I don't mean to offend. I don't mean to offend by saying you're a Darrell, okay? Because Darrell is just that bad, honey, that even the devil would be offended to be compared to a Darrell. Don't you compare me to that thing.
I immediately went into this sort of you're okay, meaning compared to everything else I'm seeing around us, you're in an okay position right now.
Exactly.
To get home.
Duh. It's called
So
duh.
I don't know if it was downplaying the injury per se, but it was more of just a triaging in my own mind of going, it's not that, it's okay.
It would be fair to say that the language you used was you downplayed the injury. Would that be fair to say?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so oh my God, I hate you, Darrell. I hate you, Darrell. You are the. I won't say it. I ain't gonna call you the devil because the devil would be offended, like I said. But you are the worst. You are what is called the worst case scenario. He is so. Oh my God, he's just horrible.
After the vehicle passed you, did you observe anyone being struck? Before the vehicle approached, did you observe anyone being struck?
Yes.
Okay, Darrell, come on in. Have a point.
You also stated that at one point, after you were observing the path of travel of the vehicle, that it felt like it was straightening up into the middle of the parade route. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
What do you mean by it felt that way?
It's just another way to say it seemed like.
Incorrect term on my part. My memory, my recollection of the memory was that when it veered off, it went on and continued down the middle of Main Street.
So would it be fair to say that you really don't recall?
No.
I certainly recall the vehicle heading back down Main Street, down the middle of Main Street.
I'm referring to you saying that it, what it felt like.
Oh my God.
As opposed to.
Darrell, you know what? You also said that your name ain't Darrell this entire trial. Maybe not concentrate so much on what the people had said. How about that 4K video of you driving down this here street through these here people? How about it? How about we focus on what we saw? Okay? Look at these eyes. He's staring at this man as he is asking him. So would it be fair to holy shit, I just noticed this is a different guy over here. Who's this guy? Who this? Hoppo. Who this man? Hoppo. Darrell. Who this man right here? Okay. But look at these eyes. He's looking at this witness with these eyes while he says, so would it be fair to say that you don't remember what you saw when you saw me do what I did? Like, no, I seen you, little bitty bitty man. Itty bitty man. It was a tiny, tiny man. He was sitting in a booster seat. Oh, yes, he was. Daryl.
What you recall it doing.
What is guy with?
I used the incorrect term there. When I said felt, it was more of the word choice of recall I should have used.
Watch him still stick to it. He gonna keep asking though. Watch. But you said this. What you mean by that? And then they're gonna say asked and answered. That's my prediction. Let's see. Let's see if I'm right.
And you stated that you would estimate the speed of the vehicle to be about
I was wrong.
25 miles an hour.
I said 25 to 30 miles per hour.
So somewhere in between that.
Yes,
Correct.
that's what that means. Yes.
And you also stated that it was the vehicle was about 30 feet away from you.
When I first initially saw the video, the vehicle was 30 feet away. It was just on the other side of the vehicle, the large suburban vehicle.
So how could you come to the determination of the speed?
Because it was barreling right at us. So as it came around the vehicle, started coming towards us, it felt like 25 to 30 miles per hour.
There he go with
It
that felt
veered
like
off,
again.
No brake lights, just veered off. And
Stop
continued
giving him
right
this
down the street
ammo.
at that rate of speed.
So it felt like that was the speed. Is the term you just used again, felt. It felt like it was
Yeah,
going
which
that
means
speed.
you should know what he means by now.
So I'm using the term felt, and
He
I'm
just talked
defining
about
that as
this,
sort of
Daryl.
a mental recollection or a gut feel. I'm not trained in assessing speed, so my gut feel, what I felt at that time.
And Daryl, he just explained this to you with the other example. You even then pointed out the other example, which means you did hear him just explain why he uses that term. So you already know the answer to this, but here you are. Here you are. Just a Darylin, okay? Daryl is a Daryling.
I'm driving that street numerous times is that it was going 25 to 30 miles per hour.
So would it be fair to say, based on what you just said, that you're not trained in speed
He
analyzation?
just,
That
oh my God, he just said that, Daryl.
would it be
Jeez.
fair? Would it be fair to say that
Oh, look, this guy right here is way more expressive than our usual bailiffy guy. He's way more expressive. Like, watch his face.
don't know
Daryl,
exactly
you
the
know.
speed of the
Oh,
vehicle?
he's looking all over the place.
Grounds.
Answered.
Grounds.
That's based on what he
Hold
said.
on, you asked multiple questions, so I'm going off of the very last question that you asked. And that is, would it be fair to say that you don't know the speed of the vehicle? To that question, the objection is overruled and the witness may answer.
Yes, without looking at a speedometer, I would have no way of knowing exactly how fast that vehicle was going.
What's so funny though is if they say he was going 35 miles per hour, and then if he's implying by asking these things, if he's trying to imply that he wasn't going that fast and they don't know what they're talking about, right? Then that means he was driving even slower through the parade. If we're to believe him, then he was driving even slower. I mean, that's even worse. That's not better. That's even worse because he drove through 7 blocks in slow motion, driving over these people. That's even more premeditated. This is getting very, very, very premeditated. Oh my God.
Did you notice any damage to the vehicle at that point that
Yeah.
it passed you?
I don't recall honing in on that level of detail on the vehicle, so I don't
No,
recall.
that's right. I was watching them people fly. Whee! I wonder what he's thinking. I bet he's like, oh my God, let him go, y'all, so I can get a hold of him in the hallway.
Do you recall if you may have seen anyone else present in the vehicle?
I don't recall.
Did you ever make any statements to law enforcement after the incident at any time?
My wife and I both shared information on behalf of the crash report and our findings, our initial statement.
You recall if that was the same night of the incident or in the following days after?
That was the following days.
Okay. And your point
Do you
is
recall
that
if it was a few days after or maybe a week or two?
because that matters.
I don't recall specifically. I believe probably within a week or so.
Any idea why it took so long for you to give a report? You and your wife, rather, to give a report?
Yeah, just dealing with my daughter and getting her situated, and just the magnitude of the incident. I think it took them a little bit longer. I think we were in contact pretty quickly, but it just took a while for them to get the resources back to us to collect everything.
Did you and
So there, Daryl. So there. Look at him in his little suit. He's so little. Tiny, tiny Daryl sitting in his chair with a new bailiff over here. I never noticed you, sir. You look like a Pete. I bet your name is Peter. You look like a Pete.
initially initiate the contact with attempting to file a report?
I can't recall specifically. It's been close to a year, but I believe we did reach out to the DA's office at some point in the following days.
Did you do any follow-up after that initial contact to see if maybe your report had been filed or anything like that?
At that point, the DA's office stayed in contact with us to let us know that everything they needed had been captured.
Uh-huh.
Do you recall who you talked to from the DA's office?
I don't recall.
Do you recall do you recall being told that you may be called to testify in this matter?
I do.
Were you seeking to testify in this matter?
I know I was subpoenaed directly from the state, the DA's office.
So you didn't have any intention to
You
testify
ain't gonna
in this
pounce on
matter
that?
before being
You
subpoenaed?
talking about the DA?
I knew it was a possibility. I never reached out to request to testify. I let them do their job, and they reached out to me to let me know that I would get subpoenaed.
Have you read or seen any complaint in this matter?
Objection made.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Have you or your wife filed any claims in this matter?
Which claim? Define claims.
Yeah, the
Referring to being an injured party or anything of that nature?
We submitted a claim with the DA's office, I believe, for potential medical reimbursement
So that would be in regards to the medical bills.
for my daughter, correct?
Yes, Daryl.
So would it be fair to say that you have a financial interest in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Oh my God. And there he go with that. Y'all only got hit by my car because y'all wanted some money. That's the only reason why y'all got hit by my car. When I drove through there, y'all all just ran underneath of my vehicle because you wanted some money. This is all about money for y'all. Did you file a claim? Oh, you wanted some help, did you? Oh, did I injure you, did I? So greedy.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Would you consider yourself to be an injured party in this matter?
Me personally, no.
All right, y'all. That be about it. You know how it works around here. Y'all behave. Because I'm not going to do it. I refuse. Not even going to attempt it. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Mama love you. Yes, she do. Peace.